As far as my eyes can see, you know fi Babylon no cater fi we. And we a walk like we a vigilante. Them do the crime while we pay the penalty. As far as my eyes can see.
In so many ways, simply by the way that you think, the way that you've been taught to think. And that takes a long time, 35,000 hours. Yeah. The words you have to think in the terms of etymology as well, because that's what they did. Yeah. They've given you a vernacular language, which is English. I mean, Lorraine will tell you about the unabridged dictionaries, and you see the margin in the corner, and it tells you what language is made of that word, like it be Latin or Greek or whatever. So you need to follow it all, right? Yeah. So if a particular word's got 4 meanings, and you look at the meaning that you like, it still means all the rest.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you go to court, we talked about ambiguity last week. There can be no ambiguity, no grey lines, no grey areas, because the words need to mean the same.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't get anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
So the person is being controlled, which is the fiction, and my ideology is that the government is fundamentally good. Right? The system that they got is inherently, it's very old, but it's just been corrupted. Right?
Yeah.
So the concept of government is fine, and if you understand the benefit of having a person, then if you're walking around, I'm a woman, I'm a man, you can't just be, I'm a man. Everyone needs a name, you need some kind of identity, right? And you need to be able to commence in commerce without doing injury or harm to yourself, right? So if I have one of my companies, the club is an entity, and I'm playing the role of managing director or CEO, yeah? But that's not me, it's just a title, a character. But I can use that character to move around the Monopoly board. Last week we gave an example of the Monopoly board and the iron and the car, and your person being the car, the iron board. So the man is the hand that's moving it, but the only person who can buy anything in this fictional world is the straw man. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't go into the bank and say, my name's man, lend me 50 grand. Yeah? Your straw man has got a credit rating and all the rest of it, and everything moves through the straw man. Okay? But because later on down the line, when we get into the species of money, there is no money, so you can't pay a debt anyway. Right? So the straw man is not liable for anything. There is no debt, but they make you sign agreements to make you believe that there's a debt. So once the agreement's signed, that's a contract. Yeah? So what we covered last week was the straw man. Now I want us to go into a bit more about the capitalist system that the straw man operates in. Okay? So we understand capitalism, but we don't fully understand the meaning of it or the implications of it. The West is a capitalist system that they're exporting all over the world. Yeah? But we don't know what it means, because we've been educated in a way that the language and the grammar that we're using is causing us to fall into traps where we're contracting with people unawares. You don't realise that your driver's licence is a contract, you just believe that you need to have one. In legalese, the simplest way of explaining legalese is if it's legal, it's most likely unlawful. That's why you have to sign. Okay? Because everyone's committing the fraud, no one's going to grass on each other because they're benefiting, so to speak. Okay? So if you're benefiting from being on the road as a licence holder driver, then the corporation who's given you the freedom to operate in that way, you have to pay a tax. All of the law is ecclesiastical, and it all stems from Rome. Rome never went anywhere, it's still here. But you're enslaved in so many ways, simply by the way that you think, the way that you've been taught to think. And that takes a long time, 35,000 hours. Yeah. So we can't undo it 2 sessions. Yeah. Okay. Right. Talking about concepts, Ryan and Rigsby at the back there, we were sitting down changing the world from the living room like I always do. And I posed a question. I needed to get you thinking, right? The question was, what would be the perfect way to dispense justice? I'm quite interested in your answers now.
Dispense.
To administer justice? What would be, because you're going to be free, you're going to figure out all of this, and then you got your freedom. So what are you going to do? If you're going to build a society, what these things that you need to be thinking of? So,
yeah, I guess the Native Americans and the old cultures, they used to have like a group of elders who would, people would present their case to them, it would be heard, and they would decide, what it was. And they even had it where the opponents would fight each other for it. And I guess that's what's happening in the court, where you present your case, they present their case, except there's no violence involved in it nowadays.
okay, but so if you go back to the root, and everything is a thought,
Yeah.
would you agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then shouldn't you address the thought? Because the people that you're going to seek justice from, they have to think as well, don't they? Yeah. So
I guess it's based on, is it benefiting, is somebody benefiting?
Benefiting that society or
unnatural-
group of people?
for them to have justice.
Yeah.
No, whatever the crime was, however you define it, was somebody harmed by it?
No, but I'm saying idealistically, what would be the perfect solution? I'm not talking about working out a solution in the physical realm where you're trying to set up a court system. I'm saying internally, if you could just imagine the solution, what do you think the solution would be?
Just
I think
to
you
know
have
what
to
the
go
other
before
person you've done?
even getting to the deed of wrong. I think you have to start with prevention is better than cure. So the system would therefore promote or emphasize or encourage
A peaceful outcome.
not even an outcome. I'm talking about putting people in the right place so that these things are not even a factor, if that makes sense. So justice, then it doesn't need to be about getting justice. It's more about everybody being in agreement about what morality is. To be honest, that's what it comes down to. Making an agreement on what morality is and then adhering to that morality. The justice wouldn't come into it if everybody was on the same page where morality was concerned.
So how do you get everyone onto the same page?
People have to, it's about studying not just natural law in terms of what should come natural to us, but understanding the intricacy of natural law as well, how it can be, everything in life can actually be measured scientifically, if you want to give it that umbrella, but it can be measured. So it's about understanding those cosmic laws that are the same in the universe as well as in the body, and going from there. Once everybody understands that basis of law on that level, then everybody will be on the same page about where morality is, and then the justice side of things won't even really be a factor. But if it should arise that somebody's gone off the rails, there's other ways to deal with things. For example, in I think it's Namibian culture, the mother finds a song for a child before she even conceives the child. That song is sung to that child every time they fall over or if they do something wrong by the whole community. The whole community knows that child's song before the child really even knows it. So every time that child goes in the wrong direction, the community there or whoever's around knows their song to sing it to them and let them remember who they are and what they're founded in. So if we had a society that worked in a way that is completely opposite to this one, which is we worked with the future or progression in mind, then you were already considering those things, and justice won't really even come into it in the same context as it does to now.
Well, that culture that you mentioned with the song is a good. It makes me understand that
Excellent.
they understood about
Very
spiritual
much so.
self as well as the
Very
physical
much so.
self.
Very much so.
Because ancient cultures tend to understand the importance of resonance, and they understand that light and sound is what builds everything.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that natural law is a good platform to bring everyone together. Would you think that? Yeah. So it's a fundamental understanding of natural law. Well, there's been much wiser people than ourselves who haven't been through the indoctrination, and they came up with common law, which is what this country is, and which is what most free land masses were until this capitalist, socialist fiasco, which isn't real anyway. It's just a method of implementing certain things. Yeah. But so under common law, it would be my rights stop where yours begin. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to commit any harm to you. All of the things I don't want done to me, I don't want to do to you. Because these legislation, they have to have power. Yeah? And there's powers that they're harnessing, which you know nothing about.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
What is the court record? You're saying Queen's Bench, but what is court record?
Okay, when they say when they talk about a court record in their system, all it is there's a file in a drawer somewhere. Yeah. Court of record is that only a man can invoke a court of record.
Right.
Bob Marley goes into the studio. He's got a wicked song. Yeah. It's only a wicked song until he uses his vocal cords and presses it to the record with his vocal cord. Yeah. So then that's placing it into the record, pressed upon the record.
Yeah.
So when in the common law jurisdiction, which is a court of record, only another man can press to the record because the fictions ain't got no tonsils. Yeah? They don't exist.
Right.
Yeah. So in their system, they're always dodging around that question. Oh, the Crown, and ooh, I'm behind here, and oh, it's Bob, or I'm the manager of such and such.
Yeah.
They never want to be liable for the real man who's going to stand in there and say, I can swear under oath of affirmation or whatever that I saw you walk over, stepped on my foot or whatever it is he did, yeah, and he did me a wrong. The plaintiff must appear. Habeas corpus, the plaintiff must appear. So the person who is accusing you of something has to appear in court and point you out.
Maybe the wise man has nothing to prove, but the one who has nothing has nothing to lose. More things we don't need will make more thieves. More laws we don't need, it's all Siamese. Who leads it don't matter, they can't make change. New driver, but we got no brakes. Whatever the place, whatever the face, the master never ever frees his slave. They always knew it, so they pursue it. But we were too divided to ever be guided through it. Gotta stop them cause they're rotten from the days of picking cotton. They sell us a love song and we're so besotted. So confused we believe their promise. But there are some that lead more honest. They are not forgotten, though they shot them. So scream to the top of your lungs right from the bottom.